All right, welcome in, and we've got another recruit. This is halfback Matthew Sowell. Decent speed and acceleration, not very agile, but somewhat elusive. So he's a 3-star recruit. Good spin move compared to the other things. And he will be added to the class. And speaking of that, Senior Saturday is this week as we host NIU for our last home game. Take a look here at some of the seniors that will be playing their last game in front of the home crowd before they graduate. And for the most part, most of these guys are starters. John Butler and Brian Witherspoon are not. But you'll see them on the field at least to start the game, as they'll get an opportunity to play one last time in front of the home fans. Eastern Michigan is trying to get another conference win. Now they've got 2 losses in the MAC and are probably out of contention, but if they can win their last 2 games, they may find themselves bowl eligible, as they'll be 500 on the year. So a lot to play for here in the snow, as Kyle Allen will kick it off to NIU. And last year they played in DeKalb, and NIU took the Eagles behind the woodshed. That was a big win for the Huskies. So they're going to start Orlando Alexander at quarterback, and their best player is wide receiver J.J. Martinez. And on first down, this one goes to the running back Andrew Richards, and he's tackled by Roger Dennis. So it'll be 2nd and 6, and here's another handoff to Andrew Richards, and he gets a big gain. He's tackled by Brian Carter and Calvin McIntosh. Alexander swings it out to Jim Powell, who is taken down by middle linebacker Blake Clark. And on 2nd and 5, it looks like there's movement on the line. They're going to get the left guard, James Pitts. And that'll take away that 5-yard gain by Jim Powell. It'll be 2nd and 10. Hurd in motion. He's the tight end. And that one's dug out of the ground. And now the quarterback tries to run for it, and Russ Reed is there for the sack. Orlando Alexander panics a little after the low snap and then runs right into the loving arms of the big defensive tackle, number 59, Russ Reed. So it'll be 3rd and 12. Orlando Alexander is going to huck this one up, and it is out of bounds, too far. That'll bring up 4th and 12, and their punter is Robert Richardson, who's actually the kicker. So the NIU coach tells the team punter, Michael Brewer, to get bent, essentially. Robert Richardson kicks it into the end zone, and here's Gabriel Hubbard, the senior quarterback, under center, and he hands off to Anthony Crum. Hubbard started every game last year in 2011, but when they were able to recruit Jared Tolbert, he saw himself lose the starting job. He's going to huck this one up, and that's nearly intercepted. And you can kind of see why he lost that job to Tolbert. 3rd and 8, Hubbard's going to drop it off on a screen to Gillett. He's hit in the backfield, and Gillett looks to be hurt on the play. They can ill afford to lose him. So a quick 3 and out, and Stephen Higgins is on to punt it away. The Huskies will start with good field position as Jason Williams makes the tackle. Good news though, Gillett has only got back spasm, so he'll be back in the game. NIU to pass, and that one goes across the middle to Jim Powell, and he's tackled by Blake Clark. It'll be another 1st down. Powell in motion this time, and back to pass is Alexander, and that one is batted down by Blake Clark. So the middle linebacker in out a couple plays in a row. We'll see 2nd and 10. Alexander finds Andrew Richards in the flat, and he's stopped by Grant Lumpkin and David Griffith. That'll bring up 3rd and 7. Andrew Richards on the give, and he is tackled short by Dominique Huffman. And the Eagles defense will get off the field. Richardson to punt, And he angles this one, and that's out of bounds at the 8-yard line. So now you can see why they've elected to make their kicker the punter. Hubbard fakes to Crum, and he's got Jonathan McConnell across the middle who powers forward for a first down. That gives them a little breathing room. Hubbard back to pass, and here comes the rush, and he cannot get it away. Gabriel Hubbard takes the sack, and that'll make it 2nd and 19. Hubbard back up into the end zone. He's going long for McConnell, and McConnell cannot come down with it. Not a lot of strength behind that throw, so Jonathan McConnell had to come back for it, unfortunately. That'll make it 3rd and 19. And Hubbard back in his end zone. He's going to hook this one up to Jonathan Slater, who's wide open, and he's got a first down past midfield. What a play by Jonathan Slater, first to get open. And then that's a tougher over-the-shoulder catch than it looks like, and he's got it. Great job by Jonathan Slater to give them another first down. Around midfield, Hubbard back to pass, and he was going to dump it off to Crum, but that's batted back in his face. That'll be 2nd and 10. Crum is going to run it up the middle, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. We've got a tie ball game here in Ypsilanti. 0-0 as both teams try to find their footing in the snow. So 3rd and 7 to start the second quarter. Hubbard's still in the game. And he's going to find Anthony Gillett on the slant. So Gillett back in after the early injury scare. And he gets a first down. Hubbard back to pass, and he's going for Clemens, who slips, and he has to pull it back, and he gets sacked. So that'll be 2nd and 20. Hubbard taking a lot of sacks already. And Anthony Crum goes up the middle for a mere 2 yards. That'll make it 3rd and 18. And Hubbard with time, he launches for the end zone. He's got Gillett, who's got it. Anthony Gillett comes down with the touchdown. It looked like the corner, Willie Berry, lost sight of the ball in the snow. So here it is, up, and the corner never looks for it. So Anthony Gillett just catches it, just like that. And that's a huge touchdown, a 44-yard reception, and the Eastern Michigan Eagles go up 7-0 at home, and senior quarterback Gabriel Hubbard adds another touchdown pass to his college resume. So Kyle Allen will kick it off, and Northern Illinois University will receive it. And a nice little return by number 1, J.J. Martinez. So on 1st and 10, Russ Reed is in there for his 2nd sack of the game from the defensive tackle position. He came to play today, and he is not a senior. He'll be coming back next year. 2nd and 17, and here's a pass to Martinez, and that's going to be enough for a first down. John Butler, the senior, gets the tackle. He's a senior safety. But now Mike Williams is in the game. Butler is out. Jeremy Heath is also back in at right outside linebacker as Brian Witherspoon had a start for the first quarter. And now the quarterback's going to run, and he's tackled by Grant Lumpkin. That'll make it 3rd and 2. Here's a fake to Andrew Richards, and he's running for it, and he is stopped by Russ Reed and Jeremy Heath. And the Eastern Michigan Eagles defense stepping up so far in this game, perhaps being assisted by the elements. Robertson to punt, and this time he cannot pin them as that one goes into the end zone. So Gabriel Hubbard, after that touchdown pass, he's earned himself a little more playing time. Rolling left, he's got Guidry, who waved him down, but he misses him wide of the mark. So that'll be 2nd and 10. Hubbard back to pass, and he goes out to Gillett, who's loose, and Gillett beats that corner again. Willie Berry misplayed it, And Anthony Gillett with another huge play. So it's just a little out route here. And it looks like Barry anticipated it, but then just doesn't get in position. And Anthony Gillett will gladly snag that one out of the air and turn it upfield for a big first down. And the Eagles on the sideline love it as they're on the move with 1:39 left in the half, trying to go up by another score. Anthony Crum, the minuscule halfback, has nowhere to go. So it's 2nd and 10. Hubbard's going to toss it up in a crowd to Guidry. Guidry leaps for it and comes down with it in just that tiny little soft part of the zone on the seam. That'll make it 1st and goal, and they'll toss left to Crum. Crum avoids the first tackler, but only picks up about 1, so 2nd and goal. Hubbard's going to throw for it. He's got Slater on the slant, and Slater gets stopped short. He cannot make it in. So on 3rd and goal, the handoff goes to Anthony Crum, who cuts it back, and he's in for the touchdown. So Crum isn't finding a lot of running room, but he is able to get into the end zone, and the cannon goes boom. So with 19 seconds left in the half, Eastern Michigan is able to go up by 2 scores. And let's see if they can hold them for 19 seconds. That's been the issue this year, stopping them. So a nice 7-play, 80-yard drive, and Eastern Michigan is in control. Offense is playing well under Gabriel Hubbard. Defense is playing well. All right, so there will be 15 seconds left in the half. And Eastern Michigan is to back off the safeties. Orlando Alexander with time, and he's just going to check it down to Corey Hurd, but that's broken up by Blake Clark. So 2nd and 10, 10 seconds left, and coverage is good, so they'll check it down to Jim Powell, tackled by Calvin McIntosh. And on 1st and 10, they're going to huck it up for the end zone, but time runs out for Alexander, and that is Roger Dennis in for the sack to close out the first half of this ball game. So the seniors trying to go out winners here in their last home game. Eastern Michigan is up 14-0, and they'll have the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Fair catch, and they're going to take the ball at the 20. Hubbard under center, still in the game, and Crum gets the handoff, and that is the most room that he's had all day. So a gain of 8 up the middle. 2nd and 2, here's a play fake to Crum. Hubbard rolling, got a man in his face, but he finds Blair Guidry, and Blair Guidry, the big tight end, has the first down for Eastern Michigan. So 200 yards passing for Gabriel Hubbard today. 1st and 10, here's Crum, and he's got nowhere to go. Stopped for no gain. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, snap is low, and Hubbard has to dig it out and barely gets that ball away. Hit on the release. So Quentin Cunningham with a bad snap, and that play is busted from the beginning. Hubbard, this one's tipped and almost intercepted, batted around, and that'll bring up 4th and 10. So a wonky series for the Eastern Michigan Eagles, and they will punt it away via Stephen Higgins. And fair catch is made, and I believe that is Stephen Higgins' first punt inside the 20 this year. Here's a pass to J.J. Martinez. No, check that. Wesley Thomas, tackled by Calvin McIntosh. So 1st and 10, and Wesley Thomas gets it again. And Mike Williams misses the tackle, and that is Brian Carter tracking down Wesley Thomas for a huge gain. So we have Heath almost getting there, Bernard Washington diving for it, almost getting there, but no one can get there, and then Mike Williams misses the tackle. You have to wonder if we should be bringing back John Butler. Mike Williams not playing his best ball today. So 1st and 10 From the shotgun, Andrew Richards gets the handoff, and Calvin McIntosh is there, but he goes for a little ride. And now it's 2nd and 4. Here's Richards again. He slips by the tacklers, and he's got a first down, finally tracked down by the corner, Brian Carter. We've got Jim Powell in motion, and the pass is going to go to him, and he is leveled by Brian Carter. He catches the ball and holds on to it, but that's a 1-yard loss. Carter just lays down the boom, and that'll make it 2nd and 11. Here's a handoff to Andrew Richards, and he is dragged down by Dominique Huffman, and it looks to be hurt on the play. Kind of went down at an awkward angle. So 3rd and 9. Orlando Alexander with time. He hooks it up, and it's a touchdown. Calvin McIntosh seemed to lose it in the snow. So McIntosh is there, but Wesley Thomas comes down with it as he just does this weird thing where he stops and the ball gets by him. So Northern Illinois University is going to pull to within 1 score. Andrew Richards just has a bruised ankle. He should be back in the game. And now it's 14-7, and Eastern Michigan will receive the ball. And Brian Carter will return this one from the goal line. Makes it out past the 20. Gabriel Hubbard is still in the game, and he's got some time, and that time is about to run out, and he takes the sack. So Gabriel Hubbard has taken a bunch of sacks in this game. That'll make it 2nd and 22. Anthony Crum has nothing to offer there, and that'll make it 3rd and 22. Hubbard back up into his own end zone, and he throws for Guidry, and that one's nearly intercepted. So another 3 and out, and a terrible possession for Eastern Michigan. You have to wonder if that's going to be the end of the Gabriel Hubbard show. J.J. Martinez breaks a tackle on the return, and they've got great field position in plus territory as they look to tie this one up. Here's Joe Moore, tackled by Dominique Huffman, and he's hurt. So Huffman is the running back slayer, injuring these fools. Andrew Richards is back in. And now we have an option out, and Carter and looks like Jason Williams are in on the tackle. And that'll bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Eastern Michigan holding a 14-7 lead, but NIU has the ball, and they're marching. Orlando Alexander has all day to throw, and he lofts this one up. Mike Williams, what are you doing? He just doesn't see the defender, or the wide receiver, rather. J.J. Martinez just runs right behind him. And that's a touchdown, another big play. And Eastern Michigan has given up the tie score. And now, after the 40-yard touchdown, let's see if we see Jared Tolbert. Kick is away. Brian Carter under it. And he'll take it back. Gets one block from Anthony Gillett. And here comes Jared Tolbert. As predicted, he comes into the tie game, fakes it to Crum, and flares it out to Michael Clemens, who's got 5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5. Tolbert back to pass. He's going for Gillett. And that's a huge play to Anthony Gillett. Willie Berry can't keep up with them. So Anthony Gillett has had this corner's number all game long. And here we see that Tolbert is able to get it over the top. And Anthony Gillett makes a great over-the-shoulder catch. And now they're in business, hoping to take the lead. So Jared Tolbert comes in 2 for 2 with a long gain. So a nice start for him. Gillett's in motion. And Tolbert back to pass. He's going to drop it down to Gillett. Check down goes for 4 yards. Now it's 2nd and 6. And the screen goes to Slater. Looks like Gillett was injured on that last play. Slater's got nothing doing there, no gain. So 3rd and 6. Now Gillett's back in. Tolbert passes to Slater, and Slater is dragged down just shy of the goal line for the 2nd time today. 1st and goal, and Tolbert is able to draw the defense offsides. That'll move them a little bit closer. So Tolbert will line up under center on 1st and goal. And he's going to try to sneak it, and they say he's down, but they're going to hurry back to the line. And Tolbert does it again. This time he is successful. Quarterback sneak for the touchdown. So after Gabriel Hubbard had some struggles, a couple series where he was 3 and out, Jared Tolbert comes into the tied ball game and just leads his men for a touchdown on his first possession. So you can start to see what Keron Day, why he's starting Jared Tolbert, the true freshman. His 5-interception game against Western Michigan notwithstanding. So 7 plays, 77 yards, and a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Jared Tolbert. With 3:24 left in the game, let's see if the defense can hold. They had a great first half, but have given up 2 big plays in a row. So let's see what they can do. Alexander back to pass. He's got Wesley Thomas, and Jason Williams is in on that tackle. 2nd and 7. No pass rush, and the check down goes to Andrew Richards, who's wide open, runs over McIntosh, and Brian Carter is in on the tackle. So on 1st and 10, Orlando Alexander will operate from the gun, and he's going to do a screen pass. No one's home. Roger Dennis was in that area. He likes it. So 2nd and 10. Andrew Richards gets the handoff, and he's going to be wrestled down by Russ Reed. And that'll make it 3rd and 9. Russ Reed's having a great game from his defensive tackle position today. Here's another handoff. This one might be coming back on the flag. And they'll decline it and bring up a 4th down with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left. Let's see what Northern Illinois does. They're going to go for it on 4th and 3. Thought they might try to use those timeouts on defense. And Orlando passes to J.J. Martinez, and he's loose for the 1st down. David Griffith on the tackle. So on 4th and 3, they convert, but J.J. Martinez is hurt on the play. So now less than 2 minutes to go. Northern Illinois trying to tie this game up. Joe Moore is in the game, and he's hit by Singletary and Dominique Huffman, losing 3 yards on the play. And this one goes up to Xavier Moore. He gets loose. He's the 4th wide receiver, but he's in the game thanks to the injury to Martinez. And that's going to be a 1st down, and they're in business, folks. So 1st and 10, they're about the 12-yard line. J.J. Martinez might miss the rest of this game. And the pass goes out to Adam Chambers, another reserve wide receiver. He's a true freshman out of Granite City, Illinois. 2nd and 6. Back to pass. Here's the screen pass, and that's Xavier Moore again. Touchdown is saved by Calvin McIntosh, but it's 1st and goal with a minute left. Andrew Richards is dropped by James Dorsey and injured. Saves the touchdown for now, and now here's Joe Moore, and he comes in, scores the game-tying touchdown, pending the extra point. So a huge play to Xavier Moore, but that followed up a huge 4th down conversion. Keron Day maybe should have taken the penalty and the yards. With less than a minute left, we are tied up, and Brian Carter doesn't have much in the way of a return for us here. So 1st and 10, Tolbert from about the 16-yard line. He's got pressure in his face, and he dumps it down to Anthony Crum on the check down, who drops it. 2nd and 10. Tolbert under center. Snap is jumped. He's going to fake to Crum. And he's going to go for Gillett, and that one is batted down. That'll make it 3rd and 10. 42 seconds left in the game. Another play fake to Crum. They're not buying it. Coverage is good. They're going to go to McConnell, who looked like he had a step, but that's overthrown. And 3 and out. They'll be punting away and trying to play some clutch defense here to keep them out of field goal range with 31 seconds left in the game. Orlando Alexander is sacked, and that will help. That was Jeremy Heath on the sack. 2nd and 18, and here's just a handoff to Joe Moore, and Russ Reed, he's having himself a game. He tackles him. 3rd and 17, and that one's intercepted by Jason Williams, and they are close to field goal range here. So with 13 seconds left, they may have an opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal. Crum is trying to get them to the right hash, loses a yard, and with 9 seconds left, Jared Tolbert, snap is high and he can't get it away. That's the last thing they needed. He takes the sack with 5 seconds left. Their kicker does not have a lot of range, and that one is almost intercepted. And so now 4th and 19, they bring out Kyle Allen. The defense calls timeout, though, and scares them out of the 55-yard field goal attempt. Tolbert's just going to throw it up or get sacked, one or the other. So Jason Williams with what could have potentially been a game-winning interception, and they're going to go to overtime instead as they can't do anything with it. Tolbert takes the sack, and that was a killer. They go after number 11 again, but this time Gillett can't make the play. Willie Berry does. And Tolbert's going to pass, and that one's batted down. So Tolbert's a little rattled here. He's thrown 2 incomplete passes in a row. But he's got Guidry up the seam. Touchdown in overtime. Blair Guidry. A nice laser pass from Jared Tolbert, and that is going to give them the lead if they can keep him out of the end zone. So a great play to Blair Guidry. Jared Tolbert comes in and comes through in overtime. Extra point is up and good. So now the defense will have to prove that they belong. On the first play of overtime, there's Dominique Huffman, who just storms in for the sack. And that is a huge play for the defense. That'll make it 2nd and 17. They needed a touchdown, but now they have 7 extra yards to go. And here's a handoff, and Joe Moore's got plenty of room there. He goes 13 yards before he's tackled by Calvin McIntosh. So on 3rd and 4, Orlando Alexander, no pass rush here, and he throws a wobbler out of bounds. And that's going to bring up 4th and 4. Can they make one play on defense? Passes out to the sideline, and he is out of bounds. Jim Powell can't keep his feet. Game over. Eastern Michigan wins on Senior Saturday, their final home game of the year. They bring their record up to 5-6, and they are 5-2 in conference play now. And that's a great win. That's their 3rd overtime game of the year. Anthony Gillett is your player of the game. That's the first time they've won in overtime. And the Eastern Michigan Eagles will give the home fans one final treat at the end of this season. Not much by way of running, but at least 2 rushing touchdowns. And there's Anthony Gillett's big game where he menaced that safety, or that corner, all game long. 5 sacks given up, so a tough game for the offensive line. But Russ Reed with 7 tackles from the defensive tackle position. Dominique Huffman with 3 on the other side. Lots of sacks for our defense as well. So both defenses with 5 sacks on the day. Jason Williams with almost a hugely consequential interception. Offense can't do anything with it, though. And Kyle Allen has 4 extra points. Stephen Higgins has 4 punts, including his first punt inside the 20 all season. And Eastern Michigan gonna win this one. So one more game to go. Can they win? And they're going against Kent State. Can they even up their record? Tune in next week to see. Click like and subscribe.